That was one motive. The other motive was the immense wealth that Taj Mahal contained. For instance, all the 7 stories had silver doors and golden railings. There is a description that where the Shivlinga, for instance, I'll tell you how the Taj Mahal itself is octagonal. Its central room is octagonal. The lattice is octagonal, and inside the lattice there was a gold-studded, gem-studded golden railing around the Shiva. And in that railing compound, the priest used to sit and carry out the religious procedure to worship Shiva. Then, if you look up from the place where there is this tomb of Mumtaz, then on the ceiling of that octagonal room there are 8 directional points, and then there is a 16 circle of 16 snakes, because snakes are associated with Shivlinga, and therefore in the top, those photos are given in my book, that above the Shivlinga there is a pole which is hanging from the ceiling, which had a pitcher which used to drop water on the Shivlinga, as is the tradition. So that pole in the ceiling has around it 8 directional arrows, and then around those 8 directional arrows are 16 snakes, because a Shivlinga is always associated with snakes. And around those snakes are 32 lotuses, and then there are 64. So this Hindu tradition has octagon and 8 and 16, all the multiples of 8, 16, 24, and 64, and so on.
These are
the
holy symbols.
Holy symbols on the ceiling just above the Shivlinga.
And they are Hindu holy symbols.
No, they are holy Hindu. All associated with Shiva worship. I was talking about 2 written proofs from the Mughal side. One is that Shah Jahan's own official chronicle, the Badshahnama, it says that Mumtaz had died in Burhanpur, and after she was buried there for 6 months, her dead body was brought to Agra, and it was buried in a Mansingh Manzil, which was requisitioned from his grandson Jaisingh, and in that Mumtaz was buried.
It is mentioned.
It is mentioned in Shah Jahan's Badshahnama. Then the other proof that the Taj Mahal was built about 500 years before Shah Jahan is that when Aurangzeb as a prince was transferred as a governor from Punjab to the south, he travelled, because in those times they had to travel on foot and in palanquins accompanied by elephants and
Horses.
Camels, horses. So during the journey from Panipat to Aurangabad in the Deccan, when Prince Aurangzeb, he camped in Agra, he was shocked, because when he went to the Taj Mahal premises, he doesn't say Taj Mahal. He has written a letter to his father Shah Jahan saying that Your Majesty or Your Honor, when I was going from Punjab to the south and I encamped in Agra, I visited that holy tomb and I was shocked that most of the buildings were leaking or cracking, and therefore I request, because it was 500 years before Shah Jahan that area was built, Taj Mahal was built, Tejo Mahal, as a Tejo Mahal Shiva temple. So within those 500 years, it had undergone a lot of deterioration. And because it was all Muslim rule and the temple was a Hindu temple, and they couldn't repair or keep in up-to-date form that entire area. And therefore he says, Huzur, I was shocked to see that most of the buildings around the tomb are in a bad shape. Somewhere there are cracks, somewhere there are leaks, and therefore I request your honor, that is his father Shah Jahan, to have them properly repaired. So these two written evidences, one in Badshah Nama, Shah Jahan's own chronicle, saying that it was a Hindu temple, and we took it over from the Maharaja of Jaipur, and the second Aurangzeb later. Now this Sanskrit inscription which I have said is called Bateshwar inscription, because the British scholars of and the British rulers of those times found it somewhere on the road. This inscription was actually in the garden of the Taj Mahal, in the center of the garden, because it says, in Sanskrit it says, Idam Mandiram, this temple. So when that inscription says this temple, it means that the inscription written by Raja Paramouti Dev's minister, Salakshan, and that inscription, which is called Bateshwar inscription, because the British had given it a wrong name, because they were under the impression that Taj Mahal was built by Shah Jahan. So this inscription, which refers to a beautiful Shivlingam, must be concerning that Bateshwar, which is about 18 miles from Agra. But Bateshwar has a number of temples. And while this inscription refers to Taj Mahal as a wonderful building in which Shiva, when consecrated, he never wanted to go to the Kailas, which is a rocky hill, his abode. So these two written inscriptions I have quoted in my book. One is the Persian, there are two Persian, one is the extract from the Badshah Nama, and the second is that Aurangzeb letter which he wrote to Shah Jahan.
Where did you get this Aurangzeb's letter?
Aurangzeb's?
Letter, how could you get that?
That is in the National Archives, all these Persian chronicles and letters. They are in the National Archives in Delhi. And also they might be in the Khuda Bakhsh Library in Patna, and perhaps in Osmania University, in Aligarh University, etc. तो आर्कियोलॉजी में हिंदू बहुत हैं, बोले साहब आप चुपचाप आइए, हम आपको ऐसी चीजें बताएंगे जो किसी को नहीं बताते.
Okay.
तो उनको बड़ी, they were very happy when I wrote that book. First I started this.
तो उन्होंने बताया कि अंदर क्या है?
हाँ, उन्होंने क्या कहा, वो ऐसा है, 7 स्टोरी की चाबियां उनके नीचे जो ऑफिस है, जहाँ हम टिकट निकालते हैं अंदर जाने के लिए, वहाँ एक ऑफिस है उनका, और एक सुपरिटेंडेंट होता है, ताजमहल का सुपरिटेंडेंट. ही सिट्स इन दिस ऑफिस एंड ही हैज क्लर्क्स, और उसके बाद चपरासी होते हैं, और वो सारी चाबियां इतने कमरों की वहाँ लटकी हुई होती है, जैसे यहाँ लटकी है.
अच्छा, कमरों की चाबियां लटक रही.
हाँ, लटकी होती
पर वो
है उनके ऑफिस में, और वो किसी को खोलने नहीं देते. मगर मैंने जब ये ताजमहल का शोध किया, तो वहाँ के लोग इतने साहब आप चुपचाप आइए, आप जो देखना चाहिए हम बता देंगे. तो मैं जब वहाँ, मैं 3-4 बार गया, and because they were very favorable to this discovery, तो उन्होंने, अरे भाई ओक साहब आए हैं, उनको चाबी लेके, एक चपरासी को कहा चाबी लेके ओक साहब जो देखना चाहते हैं बता दो। तो मैं फोटोग्राफर को भी लेके साथ गया था, एंड देन आई टुक दोस फोटोग्राफ्स। तो हम जब ईंटें निकालने लगे तो अष्टवसु की मूर्ति बाहर आने लगी।
अष्टवसु?
हाँ, तो वो घबरा गया। अभी ताजमहल तो शाहजहां ने बनाया थे और ये अष्टवसु की मूर्ति आ गई। तो ही आस्क्ड द डायरेक्टर जनरल, डायरेक्ट, क्योंकि ऐसा है ये आर्कियोलॉजी के साथ उन्होंने डिवाइडेड इंडिया इनटू 7 पार्ट्स और बाय फॉल्स।
हाँ, ये बस।
ओके अंकल, यू से द सेम थिंग आफ्टर 1 2 3 इन इंग्लिश, ठीक है? अब क्वेश्चन पूछिए।
माय बेसिक रिसर्च conclusion is that every so-called mosque and tomb, not only in India, throughout the world, which is a spectacular historic monument, is a captured Hindu building. So even in Jerusalem, Dome on the Rock and Al-Aqsa are Hindu temples, which are being misused as mosques. So similarly, Taj Mahal was a Shiva temple which is being which was requisitioned by Shah Jahan from the Maharaja of Jaipur, who owned that building, and converted into a tomb. He removed the Shivlinga, threw it out, and there constructed his wife's tomb, and he closed and barred all the rooms, the thousands of rooms which are in that 7-story building.
Taj Mahal faces south.
The Yamuna runs at the back. And on both sides of it, because Taj Mahal is white, but on both sides there are buildings which are 7-story, both are 7-story. The left-hand side is the west. When you approach the Taj Mahal, the left-hand side 7-story building, and which is of saffron color, which is a Hindu color. So on both sides of the Taj Mahal are 7-story buildings. And now Muslim mosques should not be 7-story. What is the point? Because if somebody is reciting namaz, offering namaz on the ground floor, and if somebody is walking, that's insulting. That's against. So, but how the Muslims, because they are misusing the 7-story building, saffron colored 7-story building on the west as a mosque. Therefore, they are asked that what is that other 7-story building on the east? So that is a jawab, that is a similar building. But that is foolish. Because if the 7-story building on the east is not a mosque, then the 7-story building on the west is also not a mosque. So these buildings were used as dharmashalas when Taj Mahal was a Shiva temple. Then Katha, Kirtan, Pravachan और पंगत में लोग बैठते थे for meals, etc. So those 7-story buildings on either side, they are an additional proof that the Taj Mahal is not at all a mosque. That is, when you buy a ticket at the entrance gate of Taj Mahal and go inside, there is a long garden, and in the center of the garden is a marble because it was a Congress government, a pro-Muslim government, therefore they didn't like my research, and they sent 2 CIDs to my house. Then they heard that it was just before I wrote the book Taj Mahal, but I had told many people that I am going to write a book on Taj Mahal. So the CID in Delhi came to my house, and they said, well, look here, Mr. O, we are thinking, we are told that you are going to write a book on Taj Mahal. I said, yes. So they said, the government can arrest you and so on. So I said, doesn't matter, when I publish the book, then you can see. So actually when I published the book, the CID, they closely examined every line and every word that I had said. And they were so impressed that the next day they came doing namaskars to me, that Mr. O, we were very surprised and shocked that without inciting any communal feelings, you have given these 118 proofs. And that's why the CID was very happy. अरेस्ट कर मैं काय के अरेस्ट करेंगे? So that is why under the if there is a government law that they give the sanction or the license to printing presses on the condition that every book that you publish you must send 2 copies to the CID for examination. So when the CID themselves told me this rule, when they heard that I am going to write a book on Taj Mahal, they said, Mr. Oak, you will have to submit 2 copies to the CID within 2 months of publication. So some of the printing, that is the responsibility of the printing press, not of the author. So they said, of course the responsibility is on the printing press which publishes your book. So I said, all right, then he will send it. So the CID were on the watch. Mr. Oak is going to write a book on Taj Mahal and perhaps he will incite communal feeling. So they were keeping a watch. And because for a printing press, it is very routine because he prints invitations, marriage invitations and visiting cards and so on. So he didn't, within 2 months he didn't send the book. So the CID sent him a notice. Show cause why you may not be prosecuted because this book on Taj Mahal, which we have heard and seen, you have not sent 2 copies. So that owner of the printing press came very agitated, he came very afraid and agitated. He said, अरे ओक साहब ये तो गजब हो गया, मुझे सरकार से नोटिस आई है कि तुमने 2 महीने के अंदर क्यों नहीं भेजा? तो मैंने कहा देखो भाई मत घबराओ, don't be afraid, I am a lawyer and nothing will happen to you because the book is not, it doesn't inciting communal feeling, it gives the proofs. So the CID very minutely examined every word that I had written and they were so happy. Though after reading the book, they came to me with folding their hands in a namaskar style and they said, Mr. Oak, we are highly impressed that we have not at all said even a word against the Muslims. You have simply pointed out the historical proofs and we are very happy. I want to convey a very important message to all these literary persons or professors and professors of history and universities that the entire Muslim history throughout the world is totally false. Because Arabia is a Sanskrit word, Muhammad is a Sanskrit word, Ahmad is a Sanskrit word. And one very important thing which the world should know, that every Muslim country has a rule that, now for instance Syria, Arabia, all Iran, Iraq, they have a rule not to say even a word as to what was the civilization before that country was converted to Islam. So this is such a important thing that the UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, it ought to compel all Muslim countries to discover and teach, because that history is already there, but they have suppressed it. For instance, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Arabia, etc.